If you're looking to break old habits and let go of the BS in 2022, then this is the episode for you. Hey, I'm Steph, and I'm obsessed with all things travel, marketing, branding, and helping you stand out from the crowd. In just under 2 years, I went from being a home-based travel agent with zero clue how to make it work in the digital world to launching an international ranking travel podcast and creating an online course to help travel agents in lead generation. Here's one thing I know for sure. There has never in the history of the world been a better time to create the travel business you've always wanted. All you need is an actionable strategy and someone to show you the way. Picture this. We're going to spend the next hour of our time together at the Swim Up Pool Bar, where over a cocktail, we deep dive into travel-related topics, mixed with a little classroom training. This show is dedicated to encouraging you to step outside of your comfort zone and into your travel business. I'll show you how I did it and how you can too. Hit subscribe now and let's get into it. If you're a travel agent wanting to stand out in the digital world but you struggle with consistency, tech isn't your jam and you have no idea where to start, join my free masterclass where I talk about exactly this. Head to stephaniemyers.academy/masterclass. You're listening to Unplug in Paradise, the podcast. Hello, a massive welcome back to Unplug in Paradise. My name is Stephanie Myers. I'm the host around here, and if you're a new listener, thank you so much for tuning in. A big warm welcome to 2022. And when I say warm, I mean it's been sweltering hot here in the Northern Rivers area of New South Wales in Australia. So yes, things have been quite sweaty, quite warm, quite humid, but this is what we love about our country and our area. So, couldn't be more grateful, but also just wanting to know how everyone's been coping lately. I mean, school holidays, summer holidays, it was a little bit crazy. So many cons, like you weren't able to catch up with so many of your friends or family because, the new C word strains seem to have everyone down for the count. And I knew that there was so many people back in lockdown and isolating, which wasn't so much fun either. So fortunate that I wasn't one of those people. I actually had a 2-week period where I was child free. So yay for me. It's never happened before. So I packed up my car and then I took off on a little road trip up to Bargara in Queensland. So it's just a little town east of Bundaberg if you haven't heard of it before. It's actually such a cute little place, and I was so fortunate to be able to call this little place home a few years back. So it's always so nice heading back up there and getting back into the familiarity of a place that you called home for a while. But get this. Before I left home, I found a CD case full of mixed CDs that I'd never ever seen before in like 15 years. So it actually came out of my first ever car. So as you can imagine, total dance, rock, metal, pop party for 6.5 hours straight. It was absolutely awesome. But I can officially declare that it is so much harder to change a CD whilst driving than it is to, change tracks or change playlists on Spotify. So just putting that out there to the universe. I also got to venture out to a little place called Lady Musgrave Island. And if you haven't heard of it, it's located on the southern Great Barrier Reef. It is about a 2-hour fast cat ride from Burnett Heads, which is about 10 minutes from Bargara. And I spent the entire day exploring the island and snorkeling with my new love, my new GoPro Hero 10. And massive shout out to Santa for bringing me the goods this Christmas. Speaking of bringing the goods, This week is the first week of February where all the school kids head back to school, family routine is installed, back and if you work from home, you'll know the absolute bliss when the kids are out of the house and you're able to have the space to yourself to be creative and actually focus on what you're doing. It's also the week where our student pilots inside of our online course program, Travel Agent Runway, get together for our exclusive 2022 planning party, where we'll go through all the latest updates to the program. We've got some exciting bonus additions going into the portal this week, as well as starting a 30-day runway challenge to knock over the modules together as a team. But mostly, I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone's faces after what feels like forever, but it's only probably been a month or so, and saying hello to some brand new faces who have joined the Travel Agent Runway program recently, and they're all ready to hit the ground running. So, really looking forward to seeing them. In the spirit of leading into 2022 with our best foot forward, I really hope that this episode is going to be something that is wavering heavily toward breaking old habits because we all have them in our travel business. I know I am so guilty of this, and the students that I interact with too are in this same boat, literally. So, with good intentions and hopes for the future, when in November some of our international borders here in Australia opened up and we thought we were free. Things haven't really changed though. So here we are still here. Every ounce of energy and passion we have left in the tank, we are surging into 2022 with style, with new friendships, and new perspective. But before we go ahead and do any of that, we seriously need to sit down and have a serious chat. And it is going to be all about cutting out all of the BS that we kept selling ourselves and let go of all those crappy habits that we've adopted over the course of our travel careers. Two words, it's time. So, what are we waiting for? Let's jump straight into the episode. You ready? Before we begin today's episode, would you please join me while we recognise the generations of the local Aboriginal people of the Bundjalung Nation who have lived in and derived their physical and spiritual needs from the forests, rivers, lakes, and streams of this beautiful valley over thousands of years as the traditional owners and custodians of these lands. Now, I want to talk about a little observation that I've been noticing over the last few months, specifically on social media as travel agents are re emerging and rejoining society. And the rotation on my social media feeds, which is so, so rad. I absolutely love it. But there is one massively important thing that I wanted to bring to the surface, and something that is really seems to be missing in all of the posts, all of the reels, and all of the shares and highlights a massive gap that we have in our travel industry. And it's not just in the travel agent sector, but it's the industry as a whole. And this habit is one that needs to be shattered immediately, as it does not serve you. So let me ask you, when you're posting content specifically to social media, how often do you post something without a caption? Or worse, post a generic caption with your call to action being call me now to book, or here's my number, here's my email, book me now, book now. Yep, I'm looking at you. And if you're guilty of this, then you are listening to the right podcast episode. Because the honest truth is that if you put yourself in your potential client's shoes for a moment and take their journey to find you, you'll see immediately why this habit needs to change stat. So here's a classic example. You're scrolling through social media and you've found this pretty cool travel agent's profile. They've shown up because they share the same interests as you or you have mutual connections, etc. So you do what one does when they're on the stalk, right? You take a look at all their photos, of course, straight up, and see whether their content post images like that, prices, sales, ticketing deadlines, and have all expired and is now absolutely irrelevant to your audience. Not only that, it feels salesy and can even feel like hella sleazy if you don't even worry about writing a caption. And to be truthful, my friends, there is so many travel agents out there that don't bother writing a caption. They share a reel, it's a repost, they're not even adding any of their own personal touch to it. And, the worst case scenario is they've got their email and their phone number and they're expecting business. It's not a good look. So, the BS around wanting to be known as the travel expert in your chosen travel niche, but not actively posting or sharing anything that can serve your travel community long term, needs to go in order for you to see genuine growth, interaction, and engagement online. Because the moment you start posting content that's either deemed helpful, interesting, or entertaining, and you may have seen this throughout your own experimentations online, your travel audience are going to, number one, stop the scroll and head over to your profile for a look around. Number two, they're going to gather the vibe that your other posts are letting off, and if there is any sign of human life behind all of the advertisements. And number three, they're going to be looking at the next steps that they need to take to learn more about you, who you are, and what you have to offer, and why they need to work with you. So, if you really think about it, the habit that needs changing here is not necessarily the content, it's the call to action. What is it that you want your audience to do next? Or where do you want them to go? All you need is to implement a strategy to teach your ideal client on how to learn more about you because people buy from people, right? What exactly are you sharing with your ideal clients via social media that they actually want to see, learn about, or know where to find out more? We know that travel agents have such unique relationships with our clients. I know I do, and I've mentioned it on the podcast in the past that I go to my client's house at Christmas time and, we book cruises and interact with the whole family, book holidays for the whole family, and then I'm in the kitchen making rumbles afterwards. So, we're like family to our clients. We're like the family GP. We know them, their whole family, and usually all their close friends and family, extended family also. And we know exactly what they want and exactly what they need. So we need to know that our business is more of a person to person business model, right? So P2P. And because we have such unique connections with our travel community, don't you think our strategy behind its growth needs and deserves a little more care and personal touch to it as well? Especially if we're building our databases, as I know that so many travel agents out there are definitely moving towards doing this now, but still are unsure of where to start and how to capture the right people. Which is why I designed a free cheat sheet with 7 quick win lead generation strategies that travel agents can use right now. So, this cheat sheet is designed specifically for travel agents. It's not relevant to any other industry. It's aimed directly to assist our agents to think outside the box when it comes to interacting and nurturing with your client base even when travel isn't happening right now and you're in the midst of changing demographic or you're shaking things up and going into a new niche market. So, if you want to download it, the link will be available in the show notes at the end of the episode. So, stay tuned for that. A really handy resource to have on hand with actionable ideas that you can start implementing into your business straight away. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to pop in to invite you to my free masterclass where I'll be sharing my exact 3-step system to building a rockstar personal brand that attracts your dream clients into your database so you can step up into your travel biz, own your authority, and grow your online presence. And not only that, but you'll also get your hands on my entire travel agent runway framework for standing out in the digital world without the tech overwhelm and not knowing where to start. Want in? Head to stephaниemyers.academy/masterclass and save your spot now. See you there. We've spoken about the BS habits that surrounds posting content for content's sake and how not having a solid call to action that assists your potential clients can only be seen as coming on too strong, too presumptuous, and assuming that's how you attract business in these trying times. Another habit which have seen way too many times, you probably have too, in our industry, and it seems to be taking our industry and travel agents years to get their mind around. It is the importance and relevance of having a personal brand. Now, the word brand is so widely used and it can be confusing. But to have a personal brand is simply to be known for all of your traits, your personality, your influence, and your expertise in your space. It is not, and I repeat this, it is not your branding. For example, your logos or your color palette, etc. It's none of that. Even though those things do play a part, your personal brand is the feeling you give to people, what you want people to say about you when you're not in the room. It's the foundation of your reputation, and essentially, it becomes your most important insurance policy. Because as travel agents, we can traditionally move from agency to agency or even into a home based model or a franchise, independent agency, wherever we like, really. So your client's loyalty actually lies with your personal brand, not necessarily with the agency or office that you've worked for previously. So you might be able to see where I'm heading with this one. And if you can, good. I want to challenge you for a second. I want to ask you a question and DM me on Instagram if you feel that you can relate. How many times have you hid behind the branding of your franchise agency or your employer? I also want you to think about beyond this pandemic to when business is booming. How do you plan to attract your ideal client? You know, the ones that you've dreamt of having when you're spending all that time alone at your desk in lockdown, wishing you had the guts to align yourself in your passion and only sell what it is that you are passionate in, where your expert lies. But you're probably thinking, okay, Steph, I can't do any of this. I am sending you the biggest virtual hug with an extra big squeeze at the end to let you know that you are actually so deserving to work to your strengths and master your skill set moving forward. Not only because you're the best at what you do, you have a very unique and personal brand which doesn't rely on needing a connection to a logo, if you know what I'm saying. And to be brutally honest, if you're floating towards a huge change in your travel business and who you currently serve, don't you dare try and stop it. Let it evolve on its own because it needs to. We're in the world of a brand new travel movement right now, and if you don't embrace change, nothing will change. Also, in relation to change, please make the time to do some professional development as well. So, whether it's a masterclass, a course, some coaching, whatever it is paramount right now and so important to learn everything you can to do with business and life in general. It's always been a habitual thing too. So, especially in our industry, for so long, it's easy to walk around saying, I'm just a travel agent, I'm just a travel agent, especially when you've been in it for, such a long time, or you're fresh out of high school, jump straight into the industry, which I know so many people did. And they've been in the industry for, 40, close to 50 years. It's all they've known. And I totally get that. But we know that travel agents aren't just travel agents. We are incredible marketers. We are publicists. We've got experience in PR. We are accountants, speakers, financial advisors, and representatives for each and every single supplier that you sell. The pandemic has taught us about the need to strengthen the skills that we know are transferable. So we have other avenues and skill sets to fall upon if we need to. How many travel agents have you known, or maybe yourself, have had to fall back on other skills to make a living during the pandemic? I'm curious because whether it's coaching, marketing, recruitment, call centers, retail, small business related, we've had to strengthen something within ourselves to, ultimately survive. You know what the best thing is, though. It's all relevant to how we operate our travel businesses moving forward, and it can help strengthen your skill set and your point of difference in the industry. So, it definitely has leverage to moving forward and creating that point of difference for yourself. each and every sector has its own place in our industry and in our role as travel advisors moving forward. Take medical, for example. Even that translates over into our world now via insurance policies, medical terms, paperwork, and things, all sorts of things that we weren't aware of previously. So, we now have more than enough capacity to do different things as an industry. However, there is still so many looming questions that have been swirling around the minds of travel agents, for the last 2 years. And guess what? I'm not even going to lie, 2022 is going to suck so bad, even harder than the last 2 years if you're not able to embrace the changes that we're going through at the moment. Take the opportunities to strengthen your travel business from the inside out by seeking professional development and being open to the possibility that it's going to look so much different, and it's going to take a brand new mindset to get you through to the other side. And I just want to drop in quickly and say that if you haven't yet heard episode number 35. It's Flipping Scripts and Mindset Shifts with Sue Barton. She's our very own travel agent mindset coach, where we delve into the topic of mindset. And it's exactly what is needed for us travel agents to be able to, shift forward with that new thinking, giving us the tools and the skills to reemerge our businesses with renewed passion. So, if you have listened to it, that you will know that Sue is such an invaluable resource to us in our industry. She has not only fought for us in the trenches or fought with us in the trenches, she's also spent well over 200 hours assisting travel agents Australia wide throughout this current global crisis. So I feel so fortunate to be able to call Sue a friend, but really, she's so much more than that. I applaud you, Sue, if you're listening, for the patience and space that you've held and created for myself and my students in Travel Agent Runway during these tricky times. I think you're bloody amazing, and it takes a strong person to be able to, act in service in the face of adversity. So you are bloody amazing. And speaking of another really amazing human being, be sure to tune in next Wednesday for next Wednesday's episode, as I'm releasing an exclusive chat with my business mentor, Stevie, from Stevie Says Social, as we deep dive into the creation and launch of my Travel Agent Runway program. It's super juicy, and I cannot wait to share it with you. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. If you're wanting to download an online version of today's show notes, you can head over to travelbystephanie.com.au/37 for all the details from today. And if you wanted to download my free cheat sheet for 7 quick win lead generation strategies that travel agents can use right now, head over to stephaniemyers.academy/cheat sheet to download yours now. Also, I would love to extend to you an invite for you to join my free masterclass to steal my 3-part travel agent runway framework and how to stand out in the digital world. If you want to sign up, head to stephaniemyers.academy/masterclass. The link will be in the show notes as well. Also, if you are enjoying the podcast, I would really love it if you would subscribe to Unplug in Paradise. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, feel free to leave me a 5-star rating and review. It would absolutely make my day. And if you're over on Spotify, feel free to chuck me a follow. If you have any comments, feedback, or would like to see something in particular on the podcast, feel free to send me an email on hello@unpluginparadise.com, or head over to Instagram and chuck me a DM at travel.by.stephanie, or I'm over at Unplug in Paradise as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to coming to you next week with some more travel agent tips, tricks, mindset, and motivation, and a little classroom training all at the same time. So enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you've got planned, and look forward to next week. Okay, see ya. Bye.